This weekend, Republican Senate candidates in Texas are making their final pitches to voters ahead of Tuesday's high-stakes primary runoff. Incumbent Senator John Cornyn trying to fight off a challenge from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. President Trump endorsing Paxton on Tuesday, seeking to cement his grip on the Republican Party. Some Senate Republicans quite frustrated by that move. They are concerned that by endorsing Paxton and his history of scandals, Trump could be handing the seat to Democrats in November. Joining us now, Scott Braddock, who's been covering Texas voters and Texas politics for about 30 years now. He edits the Texas political news site, the Quorum Report. Scott, it's great to have you here to help us dig into this just a little bit. Republicans are worrying out. Yeah, it's great to see you too. Republicans are worrying out loud about the president's endorsement in this race for a number of reasons. What is your sense of where things stand in Texas right now?
Well, I can tell you it's been my reporting at quorumreport.com that the president was likely presented with some polling last week. This is about the same time that he was having the fight with GOP Senate Leader Thune about the money for his ballroom, the $1 billion. The Senate Republicans not willing to break all the rules for that, and the president being frustrated. And around that same time, he was told that, look, this is almost a sure bet that if you go ahead and endorse Paxton, that he's very, very likely to win coming up on Tuesday. And that would, of course, continue in his mind, at least, and for the public, his winning streak. Right, he took down Bill Cassidy in Louisiana, Thomas Massie in Kentucky, and by Tuesday night, he may be saying the same thing about Big John Cornyn, as we call him down here in Texas. Look, this is something that can definitely move the needle in traveling the state, talking to Republican voters over the last couple of election cycles, as the president has gotten more involved in our elections here. It has been true that not only can President Trump make up the minds of some Republican voters if they were undecided, which I don't think there were any left in this race. We're at the end now. But he's also, get this, and I've never seen this with any endorsement on its own. President Trump can get a voter to change their vote. Someone who might have been going to vote for Senator Cornyn might now vote for Paxton. So this is looking pretty bad for the incumbent senator.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we know endorsements from anybody don't always move the needle, but in this case, based on what you're saying, in a GOP primary in Texas, it sounds like it certainly has the potential to do so. And so it's one thing to win a primary, obviously. Then you got to go on and win a general election. Texas has been a white whale for Democrats for a long time. They keep insisting that they can flip it. That is yet to happen. But you say that the key to this Senate seat, is Texas independent voters and their relationship to the president. Tell us about that.
Well, my publisher, Harvey Kronberg, was talking about that and writing about this last week at quorumreport.com. We were looking at the growing number of self-identified independent voters. If you look at the electorate over the last 25 years or so in this state, self-identified independents have been about a third, with about a third being Republican, a third being Democrat, at least the way they think of themselves. In the past, they've broken for the Republicans, and we have a long history in this state, Jessica, of Democrats getting real excited about a race that they can't win. But the fact has been, with what we're seeing so far in this cycle, that Republicans are shredding each other in the most high-profile way that I can remember. I've been covering, Republican on Republican political violence in this state for decades, but this has been the most, expensive and high-profile primary that we've had, where that's happening to the point that the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, who I kind of think of as the spiritual leader of the GOP around here, he has been telling the party faithful they've got to come back together, because if they don't, if 15% of Paxton's folks or 15% of Cornyn's folks, don't get in line and vote for the Republican in the fall, James Tallarico is going to win. And that's not any of us analysts saying that. That's one of the top Republican office holders. And I can tell you that Republican operatives across the state, even if they're not affiliated with the Cornyn campaign, they have the same concern.
That is very, very interesting. And it will be quite striking to see how that plays out once this primary is over. I know you all have also talked about Senator Cornyn's campaign being considered a cautionary tale for other Republicans around the country. Tell me about that.
I mentioned Thomas Massie in Kentucky and Bill Cassidy in Louisiana. Those are two Republicans who, bucked Trump on multiple occasions, right? And with Senator Cassidy voting to remove him from office, right? Cornyn hasn't done anything like that. His ads, and they're all over my social media feed and television in Texas, his ads point out accurately that Cornyn has voted with President Trump more than 99% of the time And Jessica, he could go further than that. Remember, Senator Cornyn was the Republican whip in the Senate during the first Trump administration. So he wasn't just voting with Trump, on his agenda and his nominees for things. He was also rounding up the other Republicans to do the same. He's been a good soldier for Trump. But here's the thing, for other Republicans watching around the country, those elected Republicans, there's nothing you can do that would ever be enough for Trump to not be against you when it was convenient for him or politically advantageous for him, which is at least the way the White House is viewing it now, as evidenced by this endorsement.
Yeah. And then lastly, as we look ahead to this primary, it would seem to the political observer that Paxton is who James Tallarico wants to run against. Would you say that's correct?
Absolutely. Covering Ken Paxton since he was a Texas House member going all the way back to 2003. You mentioned the scandals that have surrounded him. Look, he was impeached. He's been under indictment and all of that. I can tell you, and people ask this all the time, they say, well, what else could come out about Ken Paxton? Having had that experience, I can tell you, there's always something else that's going to come out about Ken Paxton. In fact, at the end of next month, he and his soon-to-be ex-wife are going to start their divorce trial up in Collin County in the DFW area. So I'm sure that's going to generate the kind of headlines that are helpful to Democrats.
All right. More to come from Texas, but Scott Braddock, great to have you here to really help us look through all of that. We really appreciate it.